You know, there's this old-fashioned saying of things have to get a lot worse before they get a lot better. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this strange man saying that? And I honestly don't know why I just said those specific words, but to sum it all up, the highly anticipated patch 1.07 for WWE 2K26, it actually didn't fix everything, and some people are saying it made things worse. Ever since the patch dropped, people have been complaining about a wide variety of issues, everything from movesets not saving, game is crashing. I'm even seeing weird clips online of the game just essentially breaking itself like it did in patch 1.06 or after 1.05. So it's just really going to be the question of, what the hell are they doing with the source code? And I know a lot of people make this mistake, and I don't want to make it because I have made games. In high school, I did AP Computer Science Principles. I made a game in that class. I made a game my freshman year as well. And before I switched majors, video game design was what I was studying in college. So I know that this stuff is not easy because, I understand it's not easy when you're working with all of the code. And then, of course, they probably got higher ups just constantly on their necks, blah, 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 blah. So I constantly understand that these guys are probably dealing with a lot of stress. But a lot of people in the community are upset because, again, at the bare minimum, this game costs $70. The highest tier is $150. This is not cheap. So people are expecting the game to be finished by the time they, they buy it and they hop into it to play it. Because again, man, this is a lot of money, especially with the economy. The economy is not in good shape. It's not great. And so one of the first things I would like to specifically talk to today in this video, and again, just like always, timestamps in the description below, this is coming courtesy of Status. Status posted a tweet saying that patch 1.07, it broke Creator Superstar face morph options. And which is insane because if you watched my video yesterday about patch 1.07, Creator Superstar had damn near an entire essay worth of patch notes of what they did to it. And so for the mode to, still be having some huge issues, like a huge thing like the Creator Superstar face morph, that's a red flag. But he said after saving custom face morphs within Creator Superstar, all of the slider values in the morph dots, they changed back to the default number /0. What? And then he said, well, if you have any custom Creator Superstars, whatever you do, don't edit, don't save. Some way, somehow, things are even managing to get worse because Status put out another tweet and he said that the deletion utility is also bugged. Attempting to delete any sort of specific logo is triggering a huge immediate game crash. And he's not the only person I'm seeing saying this. Now, I did see one person post about a possible solution that 2K is advising. And of course, man, 2K being 2K, there's going to be some sort of a catch. So shout out to This Is Leon. And he said that 2K is advising anybody with the deletion utility crashing issue to delete their saved game. Really? And of course, like most people, which, I gotta admit, anybody who probably has had this game since launch, most likely is a big fan. So they're probably going to be in the same position as Leon here. And he said it's unacceptable for him because he has 1,900 images, 179 calls, 30 arenas and championships. He spent over 100 hours playing universe mode and, unlocking everything in the game. And the email that he literally got, I guess, 2K support, they literally just told him to delete his saved data. And it's like, what? And then they're just sitting there like, well, on the bright side, your My Faction data is stored separately, so this won't be affected. And if you have an island save, you should be able to restore it with the restoration tool in the game. But please bear in mind that all other data will be lost. If you have any other questions for me in the meantime, I'm happy to help. And it's like, man, come on. That is not helpful in the least bit. Now, PlayStation players is where things kind of get interesting because if you have PlayStation Plus, obviously you have access to like the save cloud. So what I'm curious about, if you're on PlayStation and you were to do this, if you were to re-download the save, would the file still be corrupted? That's what I'm honestly curious. In the end, that still kind of sucks because what about the people who don't have PlayStation Plus? What about the people on the Xbox? What about the PC players? What about the Nintendo Switch 2 players? So many people in the community, they're just simply screwed. Did I just say it? Did I just combine essentially and simply? They're essentially and just simply screwed. And you know, maybe we'll get a hot fix, just trying to be optimistic. Maybe we'll see it in patch 1.08, which who knows, maybe it'll come out again this Monday. But while we're on the topic of everything, let's go back to Status, because Status himself said that he's not making any attires on console for any of the in-game characters until he can add renders to them. So is there still an issue going on with the renders? What's going on? Are any of you having any sort of issues still with the renders? I can't remember, but I think that it was something in the patch notes about it. But you know, again, if any of you are having any sort of issues with the renders, I'm honestly curious, because this shouldn't still be a common issue a month after launch. We've had 7 patches, and you I don't know. So that's allegedly. But the next thing I want to talk about as well, the movesets in the game, they aren't saving. Shout out to Kill Thy Wolf. He said that after he finished up doing Ilya's moveset, he's going to be placing all future movesets on hold, because moveset changes do not save once you close the game. He said that any changes you make and create a moveset, it just resets it back to the default. What the hell is going on with the creation suite? But I just want to point out, this is something that I've been reiterating and regurgitating all year long. If you make the creation suite, if you mess it up some way, somehow, like we've seen this year, you're gonna piss off so many creators. In this video, we talked about Status and how he said he's not gonna be making any sort of new attires or anything for a while. In the patch 1.07 video I did yesterday, I mentioned Marty M and how he's upset about the arenas and the lack of updates in 10 years. And here we go now with another moveset creator. If you continue to piss these people off, the only thing that you're doing is hurting the players, hurting the community. Because when all of the best creators, once they stop creating, no one is going to be able to have anything to update the game with. If nobody has any way to update the game, get new cars, get new arenas, new attires, new championships, they're just going to simply stop playing this game. And again, I literally echoed this yesterday. There's so many different games coming out, so many huge major releases coming out this year. 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026 have been some of the most stacked years we've ever had in gaming. Nobody is going to be sitting here playing a WWE game in a couple of months if you keep running off all of the creators. And if once you do that, guess what? Nobody is going to be spending money on DLC packs. Nobody's going to be spending money on VC, which, for the love of God, I hope you're not. I hope you ain't doing it to begin with. Nobody's going to be playing this except what? A handful of my faction players? Wolf said he had a bit of an update and a possible workaround. He said he tried to hop onto his alternate account that doesn't have a universe save to see if any new changes would revert when he closed the game, and they don't. So he sums it up as basically, if you have a universe save slot, you're most likely affected by the glitch. If you don't have one, you're most likely, you're in okay. Now, shout out to Dawson for giving him a possible workaround. Now, the possible workaround is, he said if you have a universe save slot, the only way for your new edits to change / work when you do it is if you save it from within the universe mode itself. Otherwise, the moves, attributes, etc., that you have changed, it'll just go back to what it was previously. What the hell? But man, anyways, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, go ahead and super kick that like button. Hit it like you HBK. Pick up that subscribe button. Hit it with a power bomb, because we got a lot to cover this year, man. This game is in rough shape, man. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Are you affected by any of these glitches? I'm curious. But your boy signing out, man. Take it easy.